Dear viewers, welcome to the exciting world of Nadia's Alpha Awakening, where the shadow of the supernatural has long loomed over the lives of our characters. Join us on Nadia's mysterious and dangerous journey, as this young woman discovers her true power in a world of werewolves and hidden desires. This is EP6 of Nadia's Alpha Awakening. Thank you for your subscription and likes. You can leave your thoughts in the comments section. Chapter 61. A Willing Candidate. I've never been shy about how I feel about you. I drop my eyes. Is this you shooting your shot? Yes. You're a man-whore, no offense. He laughs at my comment, throwing his head back a little. I'm transparent with you. If you didn't ask such questions, you wouldn't know. I shuffle around, rolling form, the heels of me feet to the fronts. I'm honest, I make you laugh, and I'm a gentleman through and through. I wouldn't mind if you obsessed over me a little. I bark a laugh and he joins, dragging it out. I cannot with you. I'm being serious here. He chortles. I know you are. I won't mix business with pleasure. I shoot him a look. What I mean by that is, I'll respect your duties as alpha and I know my place as your beta. I'm just putting it out there, he shrugs. So you know. I've never noticed the way he regards me with such awe until I was finally standing in front of him, trying to figure out why he would even want this type of position in my life. And him waiting, watching me like I'm the only girl he's ever seen. Don't look at me like that. I scan the corridors. Like what? You're disgusting, he chuckles at me. I'll think about it if you beat me. I'll take it. He peels himself off the wall and we go back to playing on the court. What tell hell, Tomas? He really know how to choose timing, doesn't he? I mean, I'm not that surprised, but he was kind of fast, that commitment. I haven't let myself think of him that way. I was always clouded by Malik. I still don't get it. Isn't he hanging on some hopeless dream his mate that once rejected him might come back? What happens if that becomes a reality? Will I be left second choice again? With questions like these, my best tactic is to subtly ask my father for advice, but for once I don't. I try figuring it out on my own. It's a little easier with Tomas not bring the subject up and acting as if he never even asked. I let a few days pass, torn between the idea of Tomas and letting Malik finally go. I still need to find a way to reject him. I take myself upstairs and into my mother's room. For once Nathan isn't crying, but his little legs are wiggling about, and I go to pick him up. Hey there. His blue orbs open, looking at me. Hey. I stay a little distracted by him before my father calls my name, and I make my way down to him. Yes, Dad. I push the door open and wander in. We have a dinner next Saturday. Alpha Vincent invited us to talk over some things. I nod. I also need to talk to you. Come in. I go in a little deeper, taking a seat in a chair opposite him. Now, I've never really brought this up because I respect your private life, but what is going on with you and Malik? My chest drops. Nothing. I understand if you don't want to talk about it yet. No, Dad, seriously, nothing is happening between us. I've learned a lot for this whole thing and I'm just so ready to stop hurting. I meet my father's eyes. I'm not going back to him, I can't do that. You know, after your mother passed, I gave my pack up to her brothers. I knew that I would be able to raise you in a huge family surrounded by love. My pack was big, over 1,000 people. With no doubt there would be maids and aunts who would have taken care of you. But staying without your mother felt wrong to me. I don't know why, but it did. So I traded a simple life for a pack. Raising you was what mattered and I got to do that. If we did stay in the pack house, you would have already been an alpha of your own pack. I guess you got there either way. He gives me a small smile. You were supposed to marry off into Malik's pack, and as their Luna you'll learn from them by merging both your inner circles, but by the looks of it. He lets out a sigh. I know what it feels like to lose a mate, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So be careful with these decisions you make. I nod my understanding. That's all. Just wanted to inform you of dinner plans. Okay. I get up. Is it okay if I go watch a movie with Tomas? Sure. My father nods and I turn, leaving. I get my phone out and text Tomas to see if he's busy at the moment. No. He replies and I shoot him another text. Good. Come pick me up, we're going to watch a movie. Since it's a movie, I just change into a long-sleeved navy green dress and white shoes and the same color side bag. For hair I just do a half-up half-down style, which is a cute change. You going out? Tilly wanders into my room just as I finish up. Yeah, Tomas and I are going to see a movie. I make my way downstairs just as my phone buzzes in my bag. I'm coming up. It's form Tomas. Can we come? You would be coming if you guys didn't key a certain someone's car. Bailey wonders and holding a bucket in hand. The elevator rings open and I turn to Tomas. He's in a gray hoodie with black jeans and white shoes. Hey kiddo. Tilly goes to hug Tomas and Bailey makes her way to him. Troublemaker. He gives her a head rub. Nadia said you guys are going to see a movie. They're going on a date. Bailey pints out. You know what, Bailey? I turn to her. I hope you remember that 2 tickets are cheaper than 4 when you're scrubbing my bathroom next. She shoots me a wide smile as both Tomas and Tilly laugh. Come on. I walk past Tomas into the elevator. Chapter 62. Tomas opens his car door for me and I get in the passenger seat before I watch him go around. He stops at his door and I watch his hoodie rise to find he has a claret white floral polo shirt underneath. He opens his door getting in and throws the hoodie behind us. Where to? A cinema. He chuckles as a response and I see his hoodie was also hiding a dark watch he had on, so he dressed for both occasions, one if I underdressed and another if I were casual. I buckle up as he starts to reverse and we set off. The cinema he takes us to is a little further than the one we normal go to when I'm with the family. I don't mind though. Don't want to run into any inconvenience. He stops the car. Clever. I take my seatbelt off and help myself out. You look good by the way. Compliments are allowed. Thank you. He slows down for me and then we walk into the cinema with him hold the door open for me so I go before him. You look good yourself. I always look good. I correct him as we walk to the mini screens where we can buy our tickets. True. We stop in front of the screen and he starts to drag the screen form left to right. So we have a few options of new movies that just come out. What are we going for? Comedy. Action. Romance. Let go for comedy. I follow his finger with his dark ring. Central Intelligence type or Bad Moms type? Central Intelligence. Oh, ride along too. I spot it. Have you watched the first one? No. How are you missing out on that? I shake my head. We could watch Central Intelligence. I don't mind. He presses on Central Intelligence. Far back? I point when he's choosing seats. What you trying to do at the far back? Oh, shut up. He pays for the tickets. Want snacks? Just a dink and Skittles, I say. I'm just going to go look for a bathroom. I'll be right back. He nods, moving to the front as I go find a bathroom. I don't know what drove me to ask Tomas to see a movie with me, but here I am. I stand looking at myself. I even dressed up for the occasion like it's a date. Is it? I would splash water on my face, but my makeup isn't waterproof. My stomach flips for reasons I cannot comprehend. I push the feeling down and set out to Tomas waiting for me. I got you Coke since it's the only other drink I see you drink when you're not downing gallons of water. Thanks. I take the drink, sipping it a little. Number 5, right? He nods and we enter already half-filled room to the movie adverts playing. We sit and I put my side bag on my lap. I catch a familiar masculine scent and I know damn well it's not Malic's scent. It's coming from Tomas. He put my sister's gift on. I observe him form the side, watching the green of his eyes darken to adjust to the lighting, watching how his biceps are accented in his polo. He turns to me and I watch a smirk grow on his lips and I raise my hands to push his face away. His laugh is light and to it the knot in my stomach explodes into fluttering butterflies, making my face hot. Since when does Tomas make me nervous? The film starts to play and we watch until the room lights are finally switched on once again. Good pick. Tomas tells me, throwing our trash away as we walk out. It's still light out. You want to go for a walk? Sure. I nod and we move to the Exist. We move past a group of teenagers and past other close-by shopping stores. You've been out here before, right? Yeah. He nods. Okay, so at least one of us know where we're going. I stay close to him. My father talked to me earlier. I start and then recite all we talked about, starting from why we don't have a huge pack and ending with why we won't have a huge pack. And you're okay with that? I look down at our feet. We seem FOB walking simultaneously, with only having 4 members. For now, yes. I don't know what I was thinking trying to merge with his pack. I would have been trapped. I miss a step, messing up our perfect rhythm. It doesn't matter now. I feel his gaze on me. I've set a date for the whole rejection thing. Oh. I nod to his reply. Even with Tomas I can't help but imagine the worst reaction out of Malik. He's so prideful. I don't know if he'll accept it so easily. You really are going through with it. I am. The feeling weighs heavy on my heart. Never once would I ever imagined I would be rejecting my own mate. If only things actually worked out. We keep walking and he takes me into a quiet neighborhood. All the houses seem to be identical and stuck together. Nothing like my street. Usually there would be kids playing basketball on this road. But it seems to be empty today. This whole street is like a community. I used to pass here every day when I could. The neighbors would think I was actually from around here. We pass a house with a basketball net in their parking space. Now I only come occasionally. It seems pretty quiet. I look around. It is at times. We keep going as I take in all the houses. One after the other, they all seem the same to me. So how do I know that? I look up at him. If your mate comes back, you won't go running back to her. I don't think that's anything you have to worry about. He lets out a small chuckle. It's the whole truth. I accepted the rejection, so there's no going back. He sounds honest about his reasons, but it wouldn't be the first time someone's deceived me. Sounds like complete shit. He stops. I know, but it is the truth. His eyes scan mine. It's a lot, but I need you to trust me on this one. TSK. I roll my eyes with a playful smile. Not everyone wants to pull a Malik on you. Some just want to treat you right. It's getting late. I turn away from him. Come on, chauffeur. I can't get home without a ride. I glance behind my shoulder to see him coming. We fill our walk back with more talking before we reach his car and start heading back. Is it safe to say this was a date? He gets out his car and starts to walk me inside my building. It was an outing. I stop in front of the elevator and cal it down, listening to him chuckle, then turn to him. Well, it was an honor taking you out on this outing. He nods to me, taking a step forward. Well, you are very welcome. I step forward, then go to hug him with my arms around his neck. Both his arms stay respectfully warped around my waist. I take in his scent and feeling it tangle more knots in my stomach. I push myself higher on the tips of my toes, then he starts to rock us lightly from side to side. The insides of me flutter and I try to hide it when we pull away. His body is still close and I rest my hands on his chest. If ever I decide to pull completely away, now would be nice. I tilt my head back, looking up at him, and catch how the green of his eyes linger on my lips before he looks at me and licks his own. My elevator rings open. Good night. I push gently of him, then go into my elevator. Good night. He says, his voice soft, before I press my floor number and the door shuts between us. Chapter 63. For the dinner, I put on a white ruffle check shirt and pair it with a gray skirt that stops just below mid-thigh. I let my sisters braid a crown in my hair, splitting half up and half down as I do my makeup. A simple look. I do pair the look with some heels, but don't put them on until we pull up in front of Alpha Vincent's home. I hope you're wise with the words you chose at the table. I nod. I'll try not to make it so obvious that I'll reject Malik later on. I just know that I'm ready to get all this over and done with. I've had enough suffering because of his unfaithful ass. My father and I make it to their front step and he rings the bell before Malik's mother opens it for us. Kendrick. She takes my father into a hug. It's always a pleasure to have you. She beams at him before turning to me. Nadia. She pulls me close. You look stunning. Thank you. I smile at her. Come on. We're all ready for you. She starts to lead us back into the first dining room where both Malik and his father are there. They seem so be matching, both with black button-down shirts with black trousers. Kendrick. Alpha Vincent acknowledges my father, first taking him into a hug. Thank you for coming. The pleasure's all mine. He lets go. Nadia. He takes me into a short hug too as Malik greets my father. Alpha. For once I don't have to bow to him. My eyes find Malik's and we watch each other for a few seconds. Malik. Nadia. He nods to me, and that's as much as I'll give. Let's eat, shall we? His mother says, and we all start to move to the table. I'm set next to my father and opposite Malik. Instead of sticking my attention on him, I scan the many options of food we have. We have some roasted green beans and potatoes going on, as well as a plate of eye-appealing chili. We have some fried rice too, and plates of sliced bread and some baguettes, plus some sliced eggs next to a salad. This time around, I help the Luna serve, doing my father's plate at my own. How's baby Nathaniel doing? Malik's father asks my own as I start to dig into the roasted beans and potatoes I served myself. I also added a little chili and some bread slices. He's growing some more. I wish we could skip the whole crying stage. I haven't had a good sleep in a while. My father finished before putting a forkful of food in his mouth. Of course, Vincent laughs. And Nadia, how are you? Great. I try not to sound so sarcastic. You sure looks the part. Fake it till you make it. I meet his eyes. He lets out a light laugh before glance over at Malik, then back at me. I hope you have your pack under control, after the incident. They're being disciplined, they won't cause any more trouble. I assure him even if it's not the full truth. Truth is, I don't know what the hell Bailey and Tilly are going to do next. It was wise of you to take the heat for them like that. He acknowledges. They're just kids. Did you key cars at their age? Why the hell is he attacking me? Either way I bite my tongue. No sir. I mock him in my head. But then again I am the oldest, therefore I don't have a sister whose mate cheated on her to do so, do I Alpha? Nadia. I drop my eyes that were challenging him at my father words. It's not my fault he was trying to pick a bone with me. Vincent, the evening just started, play civil now. Father turns to me with a look. I didn't even start this. I take in their conversation, keeping my communications with Alpha Vincent to a bare minimal so I don't get myself in any more trouble. Malik is also asked a series of questions about his pack as well as a few on our relationship. Thank God he keeps his answers brief. Just like the last dinner we had here, as soon as we're finished Malik is told to take me elsewhere. Someplace where we can be alone. I haven't dreaded a moment alone with him more than this. I apologize for my father. He starts leading us into the sitting room we last visited my first time here. It's fine. I take a seat and he does too, putting some distance between us. Listen, we need to talk. I need to get this over and done with before I chicken out. I loved you with all of my heart. I really did, but I can't do this anymore. Nadia, I've made mistakes, horrible mistakes, and I'm now living with the consequences. I regret it, I really do, and I'm so sorry. His words bring back the full ache in my chest. I know, but this time it's different. I try getting my words together before speaking again. When you kissed me, I was so mad at myself for wanting you, and I was mad at you because you knew I wanted you and used that against me. But then I realized that I don't regret us, but I just wouldn't do it again. I won't put myself through the same pain, Malik, I know better. With that being said, I look up at him. I Nadia reject you, St. Malik Salvador, as my mate. A pang to my left chest starts to beat to its own heartbeat. It's out, there's no going back. You just have to accept it. Accept it. I watch the orbs of his eyes fill up. Rejection. You want me to accept this? He stands turning away from me. I know I hurt you, but please. Please Nadia, anything but this. It's better this way. Have you lost your mind? His tone shut me up for a second. Are you listening to yourself? It's not fucking better this way. I push myself up standing and he turns to me. Trials of tears run down his face. This isn't what you want. Of course I don't want to reject you. I too his volume. But I need this. We keep going in circles. Just give me a chance. He moves to me. I have never seen him so torn, and it had be glued to my spot. Let me prove that I can be better than this. You should already be better. You told me yourself that I deserve better. I can't take back the past, but I can fight for us. He sniffs. There isn't an us to fight for anymore. My heart burns for him, yet I have no more tears left to cry. I can forgive you, Malik. I swear I can, but I don't want to take you back. Please Nadia, please. His voice shakes as moves to me, and I'm stepping back, hold out a hand to stop him if ever he gets too close. Not like this, son. I turn to the stern voice to see both fathers. How long have they been there for? I'll be better. Malik hasn't taken his eyes off me. I shake my head. Tell me what I need to do, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Why did it have to come to this? Why do I have to reject you for you to be this determined? You're the one that got too comfortable. Please, stop begging me. How can you neglect a bond so easily? You fucking chia. I catch myself before I start screaming. I'm not doing this again. You'll have to live with yourself, Malik, that's enough of a challenge. I watch him blink, more tears out. Come on. His shoulder hang heavy. I shake my head, finding that all my arguments are stuck in my throat. I shift my gaze back to the door frame where our fathers still stand. I need to go home. Just like that. I'm sorry, is all I can get out. I reach out to him, touching his wet cheeks. But this isn't about us anymore. This is about me. I have to do what's best for me. What about what's best for me? Please don't be selfish. I ask of him. The chest pain comes at a worse speed. I need this. Please let me have this. Fuck. He pulls away and I let my hands drop. I don't know what more to say. I don't think I can say more. I'll just make things worse for him, so I decide to leave. Chapter 64. I sit in my father's car as he starts his engine. Can you take me to Tomas? I think rest is what you need after that. We start moving. Please. I'm being careful to keep my gaze out my window. Nadia. Another boy breaking your heart isn't what you need. I let out a shaky breath. It doesn't take a genius to see the way Tomas looks at you, the same way Malik looked at you throughout dinner. I know, Dad. You seem to have this bad habit of making decisions and then telling me last minute exactly what is going on, so this time all I ask of you is that you think. Think long and hard, think with your heart than your head. I know. I have so damn much to think through. I literally just rejected my mate and feel nothing of the pain I used to feel. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. Have I gone numb? I spot Tomas' neighborhood and I look over at my father just as he pull up in front of Tomas' place. Don't move too fast. He nods to me. Thank you. I get out and make my way down his path. I ring the bell before knocking. Ever since our almost date a week again, we haven't really made any time for just us together alone. The door swings open and there he stands. I turn to see my father still there before I step in. The door shuts a second more as I'm taking my heels off, shrinking in size. You look a little too dolled up to be just dropped off. I mean, he is just a tank top and gray joggers. I just need a hug right now. I move a step closer. Of course. His arms spread and I walk right into them, warping my own around his neck. Like the last time, he warps his arms around my waist, pulling me closer. I bury my head into him, taking in the warmth of his skin. Is everything okay? He breathes into the nook of my neck. I nod, holding on so I don't fall apart. There's no shame, no guilt, no worry, nothing. I tiptoe and my littler legs are lifted off the ground. To ensure I don't fall at any given time, I warp my legs around his weight. I just rejected my mate. I shouldn't be in the arms of another. Yet here I am, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Thank you, Tomas, I mumble, for being so patient with me. It doesn't take a genius to see the way Tomas looks at you. My own father's words, and my heart does a cartwheel. I want to say more, tell him that he is the only willing candidate, and I'm grateful, but the words melt on my tongue. We start to move and I let my eyes open to see we're going in the direction of the living room, which is dimly lit. Was he already in here? When we stop, I pull away, letting myself slide down. Pulling my skirt down, I sit before lying down. Tomas lifts my legs, putting himself underneath them. I open my mouth to ask if I disturbed him, and I end up rambling about tonight. I tell him about the conversation at the table and then move on to the rejection and how Malik cried. He fucking cried. Whilst I talk with my eyes fixated on the ceiling, I feel the absent tender circles Tomas keeps making on me knees. I get distracted, forgetting what I'm supposed to say or fumbling over my own words, all because of his touch. Finally, I sit up to ask the first question I was supposed to when I sat. I'm not distributing you, am I? I know how I came unannounced and all for the second time now. I don't mind the company. He lets his hand rest. I watch him scan me. You kinda look like a businesswoman. Yeah. I look down at my outfit. What makes you say that? The shirt, the skirt. All you need is glasses and a red lip and you set. I try ignoring the fact his eyes lingered on my lips. Have you seen me in glasses? I can't rock glasses to save my life. I bet that's a lie. He laughs. I've got glasses. You want to test that theory? If I must. I shrug and he lifts my legs off of him to go find his glasses. He comes back just to reposition us with him under my legs. I didn't know you wear glasses. They're not mine. He hands them to me and I take it before opening it with a hand and putting them on. Oh damn. The blur to them are unbelievable. I push them higher up the bridge of my nose, then look up at him. So, maybe glasses aren't your thing. He goes to take them off me and I let him. If you told me a month ago that I'll be sitting this close to Tomas with my legs thrown over him, I would laugh in your face. Now look at me. Falling into the once green eyes I didn't find so attractive. His eyes stay on mine and I feel a rush to my cheeks. I only remember when Malik used to make me feel this mushy inside. I guess I shouldn't compare the feeling since this isn't him. Did you put blush on? Yeah. I lie, dropping my eyes. He chuckles. Do I make you nervous? No. I rush my answer out. You make me nervous, he admits. You'll never tell because I can always keep my cool. I roll my eyes to his response. But my heartbeat is one thing I can't control. He doesn't say more, so I take it he wants me to listen to his heart. I do, seeing that his heart is playing jump rope. I miss a breath, catching him once again looking at my lips. By impulse I lick them. If he wants to kiss me that bad, he should just do it. What is he waiting for, a signal? Do I need to do something to tell him it's okay? He missed his last chance after our movie, but then again I don't know if I would be okay with him kissing me back then. I don't even know why I'm even think about kissing him. What has gotten into me? He leans in, making my look up form his lips to his eyes. I need to remember how to breathe, and I need to keep breathing or I'll pass out. What happens if I kiss you? His voice has lowered into something soft. Find out. He leans in some more to my words until his lips hover over mine. Stop tormenting me. Our lips brush against each other as I look up at him through my eyelashes. I hear him take a sharp breath before my eyes shut, and I feel the softness of his lips on mine. Chapter 65. I've never had to explain the complexity of a kiss before, but oh my, I find myself leaning in for more when he pulls away. Shit, I can't even open my eyes yet. There's a moment when time stops and I can't begin to comprehend why fireworks are going off in my stomach. I swallow down hard to ask one more thing of him. One more time. His hand runs up the side of my cheek and his word melt on my tongue when he says, anything for you. Then takes my lips one more. I think my bones are on fire. My mouth works with his, feeling the growth of the kiss turn desperate. I feel a hand on my lower back as he pulls me in and I find myself arching into him. Don't move too fast. This isn't fast, right? I could be kissing anyone right now, it just happens to me him. It doesn't matter. My head fills up with nothing but clouds as I run a hand into the back of his hair just to pull him in more. His hand that was on my cheek runs down my body, passing my skirt and feeling the skin of my outer thigh. He picks my leg up, crossing them as out lips continue to smack together. Now I understand, I get why he always gets the ladies with lips that work like this. I'm not surprised. He breaks for me, going in to kiss the skin of my neck. A fistful of my hair is grabbed, angling my head up as his kisses continues down my neck. My breathing staggers, but I aim to compose myself as he works back up my neck and to my ear. When it comes down to it, the heat of his breath makes my spine shiver. I shut my legs tighter. I want you to mark me too. Okay. I let out, and the pressure of his lips back on mine take me back until I'm laid back and he's holding himself up with the balance of a hand as the other is still tangled around me, keeping me close. My hands wander down his chest to his low V and he pulls away for me. I don't think that's such a good idea. His words come out in pants of breath. Why not? I let my eyes flutter open. Tomas watches me before pulling us up. You just rejected your mate. I drop my eyes at his reply and tuck loose hair out my way. The full moon's this Thursday. I'll still be very willing by then. His lips press against my forehead. Let's get you home before I change my mind. He peels my legs off, leading me back to the front of his house. Take those. He nods to the slippers next to my heels. You can always return them when you have time. Thanks. I slip easily into them, and then he holds my heels out before we're off with him driving me home. Sunday passes us with the pack going for a tennis match that my parents just about let my sisters go. I promised that I would punish them as their alpha, but am I really that pressed to begin with? I think my parents are doing an excellent job, no need to step in. It's easy enough to avoid Malik during the first 2 periods, seeing he doesn't even come in. Hey, who am I to complain? Last period we have gym, and just as we finish I enter the locker room to change. Miss Blondie and her minions are already there, and I just passed them minding my business. She better not start anything. Nadia. My name is called. I spoke too soon. I turned to her. I'm glad whatever thing you and Malik had is finally over. It's not like you had him to begin with anyways. By all means, he's all yours. I don't even give her the satisfaction of thinking she's doing anything by telling me that. I can't believe you actually thought he loved you. You. She lets out a despicable laugh. You fell apart over a man you couldn't even keep. Bella, is it? I cut her off. I'd love to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you on this, but I honestly don't care. You're wasting your time. You think that's cool, acting like you're the bigger person here. God, I feel sorry for you. Okay. I walk into my cubicle and grab my bag ready to leave. I don't have the energy for this. You can even keep your pack in line, that bitch of your sister keyed my car. I look back at her. Bet you can't do anything right. Excuse me. Did she just mention my sisters? You put on a whole front about being an independent alpha, but you're nothing without a man between your legs. What did you just say about my sister? TSK, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She laughs. She keyed whore on my car, but I'm not the one fucking a human. I pace to her, griping firmly on her throat before I shove her back into the stone wall. She squirms and the shuffle of feet sound around me. For a second I didn't see anything, nothing but red, and now here I am. That's no way to talk to me, matter of fact, that's no way to talk to an alpha. I add pressure watching her turn red for air. Second of all, I throw her into the line on cubicles. Fuck you. She gasps, coughing for air. I watch two of her friends rush to her and I take forwards just to be dragged away. What the hell are you going? The voice roars and I look up to Malik towering over me. His force picks me off the ground, dragging me away. Get off of me. I start to fight him off me. I think she can defend for herself. The figure of Tomas steps in and I shove Malik's hands off me. When did he even get here? I thought he was absent. He wasn't even here for the whole day. I know that, Tomas. Malik steps forward, bringing his shoulders up. Then there's no need to grab her like that, is there? Tomas mirrors him. Are they about to square up right now? Their eyes challenge each other for a while too long. Do we have a problem? Shit. Yeah, I'm fucking tired of your bullshit. Oh my days. Fuck you, just say to me. Malik shoves Tomas, taking him a few steps back. My eyes nearly pop out my sockets. My lips part to scream for them to stop, but nothing comes out. I miss Malik balling his hands into a fist, and before you know it, Tomas is taking hit to the jaw. Hey, 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 hey. I watch 𝐊𝐢 step forward, rushing his words out. Tomas took a wild hit, but he recovers and swings for Malik twice, landing both hits. Alpha. 𝐊𝐢 finally steps in, and so do I. Tomas. I try shoving him back, only managing to take him 2 steps backward. Calm down. Let's go. I grab his side. I watch how his eyes are glowing a bright orange and I keep trying to shove him. Come on. Tomas. His feet finally move, making it a whole lot easier for me. I turn to see Malik too has his eyes glowing, but I'm red and it's taking both 𝐊𝐢 and Jacob to hold him back. I grab my bag, follow Tomas out. Chapter 66. Seeing he picked me up this morning, I just take his keys from him and start to drive us back to his. What the hell, what that? I was so glued to my place I don't think I got all of that in. Are you hurt? What were you thinking? I talk over him. Going against an alpha. Have you lost your mind? It's nothing new. Everyone knows I don't particularly like him. Not that I don't believe in you or anything, but he's an alpha. Tomas lets out a laugh. I glance over to him, throwing his head back with it. I'm glad you find this so amusing. I drive us back to his place. I gotta beat the news of a fight nearly breaking out to my father before they do. I swing my gym bag over my shoulder. You're not even going to nurse my injuries. I turn to him, giving me sly grin. I notice he's in his school shirt and trouser, but the shirt is untucked. At least of one us had time to dress. I'm sure you can manage. I tell him. His hand sets on his jaw before he shifts it and I hear it click. Did Malik punch him that hard? Are you hurt? I remember his question. I was so quick to let slide. He shakes his head and moves past me, going up the path to his door. Maybe you should get some ice on that. I follow behind him as he opens his door and walks in. Did you really have to break out fighting? I've done nothing this entire time. I put my bag down as he walks into the kitchen. He deserves more than that. I watch him bend, going into his freezer before he brings a pack of frozen peas to the right side of his jaw. I don't even know when you guys came in, and then next thing you know, he's punching you and you're punching him. I shrug, standing on the other side of the counter. I was too busy not getting involved, so one of those hits down accidentally hit me. You're no better. His eyes stay on mine. Walk in and we had Bella on the floor choking for dear life and Malik trying to tear you away. I swear, I'll lose my shit if I have to apologize to her. I shake my head, watching him press the packet closer to his face. You really shouldn't put something so cold directly on your face. I move around to him and grab a paper towel. It'll heal anyways. He tells me as I take the packet from his grasp. Doesn't mean you shouldn't treat it right. I warp it up before smacking it back on his face. Ow. He chuckles, moving with my hit, holding the peas up once more. You're such a baby. I roll my eyes. Is it so wrong of me to like the attention? My eyes find his lips before I drop them. Ever since last night, I can't stop thinking about our kiss, about him. I should really be going. I didn't tell anyone I was coming here. He nods his understanding and I turn, going back to the front where I put my shoes on. He wanders over to me just to watch me do so. I'll see you tomorrow anyways. Yeah. He picks my bag up for me, and I take it as he slips on another pair of slipper, then opens the door for us. I take it you're going to go study. I nod to his question as we walk down the path. How about I just drop you off? It's fine. It's not like I have a bond draining me of energy anymore. I tell him it's true. Ever since the rejection, I haven't felt the dull ache in my chest that used to have its own heartbeat. I can handle a walk, Tomas. I turn to him. He steps forth, towering over me. Remember when I said he wasn't my type? Now look at me. I feel heat rush to my cheeks as he tilts his head away to give me access to his other side. I lift my eyes from his lips to his eyes to see his face stretch into a grin before he presses his lips onto mine. I can't kiss him right since he got me smiling too. I tiptoe to keep us close, feeling his arm warp around me. You're an idiot. He chuckles as a response and I shut my eyes, feeling his lips on mine once again. I tug the sides of his uniform, pushing myself a little higher. My little legs float off the ground and instead of warping my legs around him, I lift a single leg in the air like I'm in the movies. He does have a way of making me feel like that. Okay, put me down. I giggle, feeling my feet meet the ground again. I haven't had the chance to do that all day. I'm sure you'll have plenty more opportunities. I push him away, setting myself free. But until then, I turn to start waking away. I glance over my shoulder for one last look to see he's already watching me leave. When I get home, I try to make it past the living room with no trouble, but my name is immediately called by my father. Yeah, Dad, Emma, get right with you. I'm just going to take a quick shower. I had gym last period. With no response, I rush upstairs and head straight into the shower. Even with wet hair, I make my way back down and knock on my father's office before walking in. You called for me. Thursday, your mother's side wants to meet the pack. He doesn't look up from the sheets of paper in front of him. Oh, man, I thought it was about school. Thursday's full moon. I thought I'd take the pack out for a run like we did last time and maybe stay over at Tomas. My father looks up at the mention of Tomas. That's okay. I guess a little bonding wouldn't hurt anyone. His eyes still speculate me. Friday works for me. I'll even drive us there. That'll be all. His eyes drop back to his papers and I take my chance to leave. Does this mean I'm in the clear for Tomas Place Thursday? Should I risk it coming home late anyways? I don't even know. Chapter 67. Waiting around for Thursday is more nerve-wracking than I could imagine. At least Malik didn't come to school and Miss Blondie hasn't hushed a word since. Just like the last full moon, we're playing yet another game of tag. My body is buzzed with the effect of the full moon, and I have to dig my nails into my palms to stop myself from shifting. Nia seems to be way stronger and I'm struggled to contain her. I never knew she could get like this. And it's a surprise since she's been mostly nonchalant for so long. Let's go see Saint. No. I scream back in my head. I've been dealing with this since the start of the full moon. I start to hear footsteps coming my way and I leap out my hiding spot, going into a run. The feet are catching up to me. This game we moved it outside so I can hear just how close it far my attacker is. I take a glance anyways, seeing Tomas' bright orange eyes fixate me as I keep pushing myself forward. I'm cracking branches underneath and leaping over logs. A great force from my left side takes me down into a tackle, making me almost eat dirt. I think you're starting to slow down. Orange eyes look down at me as Tomas flashes a bright smile at me. I let you catch me. Let me. He leans in. Yeah. I tilt my head up, making our lips hover over each other. You think you have a chance of catching me? An alpha. This time he actually caught me by surprise, though. It's not like he could actually catch me. You wish. I shove him off me. Letting out a laugh, I get back up and set off faster just to prove my point. I set in the direction of my sisters, getting them involved more. It's a refreshing feeling being back in the skin of my wolf. I forgot how good it felt being in the slump after the whole Malik situation. Now I have nothing to hold back on, I can be free. We overdo our time limit that my father gave Bailey and Tilly but get them home anyways. I don't even think about sticking around for my father to start scolding me. As soon as they hop in the elevator, I walk back into Tomas' car where he's waiting for me. All good. He wants to know as I get in the car. Yeah. I buckle in and we set off into the direction of his house. I get a wave of unsettling butterflies the closer we get. No way in hell have I forgotten exactly why I'm going back to his place, but still my stomach is still in a knot. I managed to slip a two-piece matching burgundy lace set underneath the Nike spot shorts and crop top I'm wearing. Shit. This is the type of things I'd talk to my mother about, ask he if she's approve of the set or not, but I didn't get time. Getting there, Tomas carries my bag and his and then lets us inside. So I saw your hands. He drops the bags and starts to move to the kitchen. Totally understandable, we all have our coping methods so we don't shift out of nowhere. I look down at my hands inspecting the nail holes I made. It'll heal. Doesn't mean you shouldn't treat it right. I watch him open a cupboard before he takes out an first aid kit. He can't be serious right now. It's nothing really. Come here. Those two words have already made me freeze out my mind, yet I find myself completely suck once again. He picks up his eyes scanning me. I'm sure I can clean it with a simple shower. Few insist. He nods. God, what's happening to me? He leads us back into his bedroom and head into another space and I find out it's his shower. You have the shower. He opens a glass door revealing a shower head with a few options of bottles behind it. Soap and water. I just need to go get you a towel. He turns going back out and I'm left alone. I scan the bathroom space seeing it's like surprisingly clean since he lives alone. Does that mean he hires maids or does he do all the cooking and cleaning himself? I step forth coming to a stop in front of a mirror. There seems to be some sort of light outlining the rectangle mirror form the inside. The counter also seems to be a rich black with white marble going against the floor that's stained white with black marbling. I look to my left where Tomas left, and still hasn't came back form, before going to open one of the drawers. The whole counter itself seems to be defying gravity, and to avoid getting caught I only take a quick glance. Only essential toiletries. How long does it take to grab a towel? I risk looking in the other two and find nothing suspicious. Since he's taking his sweet time, I start taking my blue crop top off, leaving me in the burgundy lace. Don't stress, I've been here before, I've had experience, there's nothing to worry about. Right. My stomach seems to disagree, making me nauseous, at least the lace is cute. I pick my eyes up to see the lovely work of St. Salvador imprinted on my skin. A clean and healed bite mark. I remember the days I loved showing it off, now all I do is avoid off-shoulder shirts. Got the towel. I watch Tomas come to view through the mirror. His eyes watch mine as he approaches, then he leans into me from behind. Sorry it took so long. It's fine. I shake my head, scanning my shoulder once more. This is embarrassing. I can't believe I'm asking for such thing. To the one guy that's always been there for me, my eyes drop. I just bite over it, right? He moves hair out the way. You know what this mean, right? There's no going back after this unless you chose to reject me too. I'm not going to reject you. My eyes stay on the marble counter as my voice comes out barely as a whisper. This is the last step before cutting my ties completely with Malik. Nia, I call out to my wolf, Nia, please. Yes. She replies and I shut my eyes. Can you forgive me and accept Tomas? But Saint's wolf, she argues. I know Saint was our first love, but he did us dirty. I need to do this and you need to let him go. We're silent for a moment before I feel a tender kiss planted right where he'll bite over. I need this, please accept him. My eyes open, feeling Tomas' hand rest at my hip before he pulls us together, leaving no more gaps. My stomach flips, feeling my cheeks burn. Do you know how rude it is to keep a lady waiting? I spot him looking at me through the mirror and I stare back, this time with red eyes. Not very gentlemanlike. He chuckles at me and I watch him lean back into my shoulder. He gives me a quick glance and I notice his orange eyes glowing at me before he goes to bite down on me. Pain radiates through my shoulders, causing me to cry out from the agony. Chapter 68. My shoulder throbs in pain to its own heartbeat. I remember exactly how it felt the first time, but this time we decided to mark before mating. This shit fucking hurts without another thrill. I hang my head, feeling my eyes sting. That fucking hurt. I wiping my eyes. Like damn. I'm sorry. He laughs. I do believe we're supposed to be mating to mix the pain with pleasure. His arms warp around me, lifting me and then placing me back on the counter. Here, do me. He pulls his shirt over his head, leaving his chest bare. I lean in, marking him same place he did me. The taste of blood lingers in my mouth as I pull away, seeing my bite has drawn blood. I look at my own shoulder to see the same. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I mock him. Like, shut up. You're just being a big baby about it. He laughs and I meet his back to green again eyes. Leaning in, he pecks me softly and my hand rises to cup a side of his face before he going in once more, locking our lips. My mouth opens wider to him, slipping his tongue in, and I let it swirl with mine because he pulls away, bringing a cold rush to my lips. I tug him back for more. He steps in between my legs. Feeling his hands at the side of my ribs send tingles through me as his kisses trail down my neck. Let's take that shower you wanted, he says in my ear, and I'm nodding before I know I'm agreeing to. We start to undress each other, not taking our eyes off our bodies before we get in. Can I choose the temperature? Oh hell no. He turns the faucet on and I hide behind his body as a shield from the cold water before it turns a lukewarm. I hear him pull something and then the square shower above us starts spraying water on us. I'm instantly drenched. I push my hair back, looking up at Tomas through wet eyelashes. I guess this makes us second chance mates. He towers me and water drips off his lips to mine as he speaks. I guess it does. I run my hand into the back of his wet hair, bringing our lips together. We kiss each other harder as I let my hands explore the bare of his body before he picks me up one-armed, and then I feel the cold stone on my back. I warp my legs around his waist as he jerks me up higher, making our lips part just for me to press them back together. I feel the softness of his hand trace my stomach, my hips, my outer thigh. He drops his other hand that was by my head and grabs my other outer thigh. I moan to feeling the stiffness of his tip rub against my clit. My breathing staggers between kisses to him, continuing to torture me as such. The water temperature isn't even that hot yet. I feel as if my skin is going to burn off anytime soon. I pull away, needing to take more breaths, but try hiding my face as he puts a finger in me. I know I probably look a hot mess right now, and I'm not trying to expose myself like that. Hair is pushed out my face and I know the redness of my face brightens at him adding another finger. And fuck. I moan under my breath. My head is picked up before our lips are pressed together once more. I do try to kiss him, but I can't fight the shaking of my legs or the throbbing of my insides. I soak his hands, squirting everywhere. I take in the breaths I should have taken while his kisses trail down my neck. He takes me into a different state of euphoria, the type where breathing doesn't even matter. His stamina surprises me as his sexual prowess keeps growing more intense, the fitting of him locked into me, the way I keep jerking up to every thrust of his, the way I have to cling on to him for support. It takes me all by surprise. I give out before him, then he washes me before we get out. My hair is still very much damp before we reach the bed, going again. Tomas runs his fingers through my head before I roll onto him, placing both hands under my chin as my bare chest press against his. I look up at the pink still visible in his cheeks and examine him to the fluff of his hair. I flip my own to the right side. So how do you feel? He tucks a piece of hair behind my left ear. My shoulder's starting to hurt again. No. He chuckles, making his chest vibrate, and I find myself tilting my head to side to admire his grin. I mean, about Malik, do you still feel anything? I think about it for a second. Every time I thought about him in the past after the breakup, I'd get this repeated dull ache in my chest, but now, thinking about it and him, I don't really feel anything. Now that the rejection is done and Tomas bit over his mark, I don't think I have anything more to feel. No. And how do you feel about me? He blinks down at me. You still make me nervous, but second chance mates is all about building something right. It's not like it was handed to us like our mates are. Right. And how do you feel about me? A little pressured. It's not like you have the best example of something healthy, and then here I come. I won't be surprised if you set high expectations, but I'll meet them. I'll make it a priority to. His eyes wander to the ceiling. I just don't want to disappoint. My cheeks lift into a smile. Yeah, don't fuck this up. Wow. He laughs and I join him. Just the motivation I needed. Really, thanks. We do have something going on this weekend. I start to tell him a little about my mother's side of the family that we're going to meet. I know for sure they don't want to meet the pack, but more so Tomas, who is the only one they don't know. We keep the talking going as I explain some general rules that even I have to follow, like over there. Dinner is served at a late time, so when we arrive, which would probably be around 8 if we leave after school, we'll be in time for dinner. So now that you're not going to the military, since I saved you from that, what's left for you? We're back on basic topics now. Probably be a veterinarian. He shrugs. A veterinarian, huh? I repeat. I didn't know you wanted such a simple life. A veterinarian for the human pets, right? Not like a pack doctor. Not that there's anything wrong with that. No, like a veterinarian for the human pets. He nods. I mirror him. You still want to be a CEO of a business company. I finish for him. He smiles at my interruption. Yeah. Yep, still strung on that dream. I've already planned to take business credits for the year S offers us. If they won't take me, I'll just find another college where I can study the course. Tomas sits up, bring me to a straddle on him before he gives me one of the soft kisses. With his hands at my hips, he lifts me slightly before he moves away from me. I slump back down into the sheets, ready to give out for the night. Chapter 69. I forgot what it feels like to sleep in the arms of another. It's a feeling I'll never get used to. A feeling I always want to experience. Unfortunately, it's an alarm that wakes me up, and as my eyes flutter open, I drag the sheets with me to go on the hunt for my ringing phone. I try rubbing the sleep from my eyes as I rummage through my bag for my phone. I turn the alarm off before dragging myself and my bag into the bathroom, where I start to get ready for school. As soon as I'm dressed, I move to my makeup, then hair, putting it back into a ponytail and pull hair from the frame of my face. Someone is shuffling downstairs, and my best guess is it's Tomas. Before going down, I make his bed since it's the least I can do, then head down with my bag. Yep, it's Tomas. He's in his school clothes but only half dressed and is drinking something out a milkshake cup. He spots me as I take my last step down. How are you already up? Morning runs. He moves to me, right? Like normal people actually do that. He stops, giving me a kiss on the cheek as he moves past me. Eat something. I turn to watch him take the steps 2 at a time up. I serve myself and finish before he comes down fully dressed, in his blazer too. I left mine in my school locker. When we leave, he drives us to school and he heads to my locker with me like any other day. Today's about some practice exams in first and second period, so we don't really have any time to talk except when it comes to lunch. Halfway through my English period after lunch, my name is called over the intercom and I'm requested in the principal office. There's nothing worse than having to sit in Alpha Vincent's office because I'm required to. I really have no choice, so I get going. I mean, seriously, what more does he have to say to me? Please don't let his be about Malik, anything but Malik. Making my way there, I can't help but flood my head with different scenarios to why I'm being called. The whole overthinking nearly makes me walk straight into an opening door. Ah! My right arm is tugged, dragging me into a classroom. What the hell is wrong? I stagger in and my words evaporate, turning to see Malik shut the door. How is it he's never in class but is always in school? I watch his eyes pivot around before they finally land on me. The full moon, he tells forward. What the hell did you do? What do you mean, what did I do? My heart leaps. I don't know how to explain it, but my wolf kind of lost communication with Nia. He starts talking with his hands. Not communication, connection. I don't know, but I felt it. I tried to get a hold of you, but I couldn't. I blocked your number. I tell him. I figured. He nods. So are you going to tell me what happened? I drop my eyes, looking over at one of the desks. I got rid of your mark. Why would you do that? Do you know how permanent burning yourself? I didn't burn it off. I meet his eyes. I let Tomas bite over it. I'm going to fuck him up. Silence. I'm going to fuck him up. He raises his voice. No, you're not. You did what? What the hell is wrong with you? What were you thinking? He steps forth. Are you serious? Tell me you're fucking joking. He starts shaking his head in disbelief. Oh my God. He steps back, sticking his back to the wall before he slides down. I had to. I sink to my knees. I was still stung after the rejection. I still felt the tug, your emotions. I need this. Do you know how fast you're moving? Did you even think about this? Do you even like him? Of course I do. Or do you just like the thrill, huh? You wanted to get rid of me so bad you would do anything. Yeah, I would. I realize too late we're raising our voices at each other. I watch him run his hands in his hair before he picks it up to watch me. Tomas. I don't know how to respond to that. Tomas Nadia. Do you even know his true intentions? Yes, actually, I snap at him. And I know for a fact he's not going to cheat on me. He stares at me, eyes cold and blue like the sea. 𝐊𝐲𝐽. He lets out, looking away from me. He's just so good to you, isn't he? He doesn't have to sound so sarcastic about it. He must have had a rise out of it, leveling the playing field, an eye for an eye. I know you know, but I did kill his alpha. I don't think this is about revenge. I stop him. He sighs and my eyes drop to my hands as the seconds between us pass. Does that mean I'm not actually requested? Was this a setup? And I just walked right into it. So what now? I feel his gaze on me. I cheat, you break up with me, reject me as your mate. Then you replace me in a heartbeat. And this was never easy for me. My eyes sting. If I keep loving you, I'll lose myself. I'm sorry I don't know how to love you. But you're not giving me a chance. I don't know what more I can do. He pauses. I won't accept the rejection, I can't. I nod, he starts to play with his hands. I did try, you know. I know. We sustain eye contact. I hate the way he looks at you. It doesn't take a genius to see the way Tomas looks at you. But I hate the way you look at him more. You're just going to keep hurting me until I know how heartbreak truly feels. Even so, when you're done playing around, when you come back to your senses, when that cute bite mark he gave you fades away, when you're ready, I'll be here and I'll be better. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. I admit. Meh, he shrugs. I give it a solid 2 years before you get bored. I'm not going to get bored. I argue. Okay, whatever you say, but I do know you'll be fully satisfied. I part my lips to argue some more, but he beats me to it. Tomas. My mouth shuts, Tomas. He emphasizes. He starts to stand and I watch him groan in size. I guess this levels our playing field. This isn't a game to me, Saint. I care about him. Of course you do. He reaches to give me a hand. I take it without thought. You wouldn't sleep with just anybody. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I shove him and he breaks out laughing. I haven't heard him laugh like that in what feels like forever. I flash him a simple smile. Chapter 70. I make it back to class without even having to go to see Alpha Vincent. What was that about? Tomas wants to know just as we finish packing for the day. Malik wanted to talk to me. I don't look over at him. He said something was off and I had to tell him about us, so now he knows. He opens the door for me and I get in. Tomas only nods his understanding before he drives me home. I guess I'll be back around 3:30 'cause we leave at 4. Yeah. I nod and he leans in, giving me a kiss on the cheek. I'll give it a solid 2 years. What the hell does he know? He just loved to pick on me, asshole. I leave his car and he doesn't leave until I'm in the elevator. She's back. Tilly hugs me. Everyone's packing. We literally have an hour. I know. I move past her going into my room. I change into a simple beige square tank top and the same color joggers. I go under my bed to grab the duffel bag I once brought with me to Malik's place. I start to pack, not letting any memories cloud me. I take it upon myself to take my makeup off before getting called to my parents' room so I can take care of my little brother as my mother finishes up. From downstairs I hear Bailey greet Tomas, so time must be moving quite fast. Tilly comes back with the keys to the car we'll take, and by the looks of it my father took my quite seriously. We take a 7-seater with me driving, Bailey in shotgun, mother and father in the middle row with Nathan in the middle, and Tilly and Tomas at the back. Bailey debated hard for that spot and that is what we eventually agreed on. Before stating the car I push my car a little forward, then head off in the direction of the highway. The hour-and-a-half-hour ride starts off fun like every other road trip, but seeing as we left quite late, Miss DJ over here gets tired as the sky coats black. We have her R&B playlist playing in a low volume since her little bother decided to snooze off too. The relief I feel when we're surrounded by nothing but trees, and we're stuck on a thigh path before a grand house appears and the path extends. Just looking at the prolonged gray roof and walls me sigh, my ass fucking hurts. I come to a stop in front of my 2 uncles. Sadly, a few years back my mother's oldest brother died. Now it's just them 2. Before I can even cut the engine, my uncle, Raph, is opening my door and I take my key out and jump right into his arms. Isn't it my favorite niece? He picks me up, spinning me. All at once the memories of spending Christmas and birthdays play. You haven't grown a bit. He puts me down. But something changed. Did your hair grow? I look down at my half up half down hair. Probably a few inches. I look back up to see he's looking at my shoulder. Ah, he raises an eyebrow, that's new. I follow his gaze to my mark before turning to my other uncle, Samuel. Come here. He drags me and I move gladly and get squished into another hug. They then move to my parents, seeing Nathaniel for the second time before the only introduction left is Tomas. Uncles, this is my beta Tomas. I look over at my father. Should I mention he's also my second chance mate? Nice to officially meet you. Tomas greets them with a wide smile. The pleasure all our. Uncle Sam returns a smile, holding out a hand for Tomas to shake, and then he does the same to Raph. Come in, dinner has just begun. Leave the car, we'll take care of that later. Come, come. My father takes the lead with Nathan in his car seat and Mom next to them. Bailey and Tilly set before us, leaving Tomas and I at the back. I glance over at him to try and get a feeling of how he's doing. Is he really that okay with it? Does he even want to be here? He meets my gaze, the green of his eyes are tinted with the dark of the sky. I feel his fingertips graze down my forearm. The electricity of his touch sends goosebumps all over before I feel him lace our hands together. That's a good sign, right? Turn your big head around. I hear Bailey says, then turn to her, forcing Tilly's head forward. Shut up. Tilly smacks her hand away. My head isn't big. How would you know? I'm the one that can see it even from a mile away. Bailey her shoved, sending her laughing. Kids, my father warns. You see what you do. Bailey lowers her voice. What I do? I FNG hate you. Don't hurt yourself swearing. I believe Tilly mouths something, making Bailey laugh a little harder before she throws a fit and storms off in front. We arrive at the double doors and they swing open. Nothing has changed the slightest since I last in here. The tiles are still blinging white. The staircase to the first floor is still planted in center of the open space. We're led to the dinner hall, but you can hear that racket before we step in. Hey look, she's here. Someone calls as we look out into the pool of faces. All my cousins, as well as the pack who live here, are already seated. Emmanuel, a tall dark-skinned beta, comes our way. You can go on ahead with Emmanuel here, Uncle Sam says. I'll take care of your parents. Hey midget. Emmanuel takes it upon himself to pat me on the head. I told you not to call me that. I shove his hand and he lets out a laugh. You must be the new beta. He turns to Tomas. Yeah, I'm Tomas. Oh, I know. He starts to lead us away. I pass my other family, smiling at them and occasionally giving a little wave when they do. We stop in the middle where there's 4 empty seats opposite each other. Bailey and Tilly take a side and so do Tomas and I. Look who finally decided to come back. I smile at Ethan's approach. Ethan is the second of Uncle Raph's children, since everyone is family here, and is also just a few inches taller, making it easier for me to hit him at times. You haven't grown an inch. You're lucky you're across the table. I eye him. Before I can get dragged into any more conversations, I introduce Tomas. Tomas, this is part of my family. More of them are spread out. Tomas. Ethan questions. Hall. He finishes. Nice to meet you, Tomas Hall. Ethan starts a conversation going with Tomas. Nadia. A sweet voice next to Emmanuel calls Kelly, I think it is, his mate. She has blonde curls that stop just short at his shoulders. Hey girl, how you doing? Kelly and Emmanuel are part of the 7 I constantly hang with here. It is too numbered out here to be hanging out with everyone, but I do try. Babe, swap seats with me. Emmanuel moves gladly without thought, swapping seats so Kelly can move closer. It has been too long. She takes me and fro a side hug. I'm doing great, you? Yeah, I'm good. Kelly and I go off into more chatter as the dinner finally starts. More and more cousins get dragged into our conversation, making it more so a group discussions.